In this video, I'm not only going to give you over 100 copywriting templates, but I'm also going to be walking you through step-by-step how you can use these templates to create emails that you're going to be able to sell to businesses for over $200 each. Every single one of these emails are templates that I myself have used and created to actually go ahead and create these emails for companies that makes them tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars with copywriting. So without any further ado, let's hop right into it. So where to find these templates first and foremost. So screen recording right now, I'm going to show you this. They're all inside of the free 4D copywriting community right here inside of the free copy starter kit. So that is the first link down in the description. And as you can see inside of this community, there are tons of people in here who are saying, hey guys, I will review some of your copy. Drop your copy right here. I'll review your copy. If you review mine, get your copy reviewed right here. So everybody in here is reviewing copy. They're working together. And as you can see, if you go up here over to Classroom, you can get a whole bunch of these courses absolutely free. And the templates I'm talking about in this very video are in the 4D starter swipe file up here in the top right. Now, if you click here, as you can see, we have a portfolio builder, a starter swipe file, sales page swipe file, 4D copywriting templates, 4D outreach scripts, and so much more. As you can see, if I'm going over to the sales page swipe file right here, there is literally over 100 just straight up sales pages in here. Not to mention all of these templates right here that we're gonna be looking at, the email templates. There's the DIC, PAS, HSO, CJN, listicle, and then there's a brand new one that I'm gonna be walking you guys through here today. As you can see, value is absolutely packed through the roof. It is insane. So this is called the learning lesson email. I'm going to walk you through exactly how it goes. I'm going to give you some pro tips, and then I'm of course going to walk you through some examples that I've created. So first and foremost, this email works by using the principle of showing why you're convinced rather than trying to convince the reader. Take this opportunity to not just give value, but also add some entertainment. It's important to be well researched in the topic you're writing about, have the ability to tell compelling stories, and be able to adequately sum up a lesson in one sentence, okay? So I'm gonna walk you through how all of that works, but essentially, you're gonna wanna know what you're talking about. So as far as knowing what you're talking about, you want to know what is the common advice that is given to solve the problem that you're talking about, and why is it not the best way to go about it, okay? And you're gonna need to understand justifications, you're gonna need to understand reasons. So while this might be a template, it's not something where you just get to switch a couple words around. It's more of an overall structure and idea that you can fill out on your own. And using the template, you can essentially just start. The reason as to why I give these templates is not because I want you to depend on them or use them forever. It's mostly because people are too afraid to take action unless you give them like a super easy template to just start. I know there's tons of people right now, it might be you might be guilty, watching copywriting videos, but never have actually written their first piece of copy. So even if you have or have not written your first piece of copy, this is still going to be valuable to you. But that's why I give the template. So first and foremost, the template. Here's what it looks like. So the why here is optional, but essentially common advice, undesired result, right? So again, we're going to get into some examples, but going on a diet makes you gain weight, for example, and what you should do instead. So, hey name, if you're common advice, right? On a diet, if you're fasting, if you're on the keto diet, or if you're trying to grow your business by XYZ, or if you're trying to get girls by cold approaching out in the mall, then you are whatever as we speak, right? So you're actually losing money as we speak, or you're gaining weight as we speak, or you are whatever the undesired result is as we speak. Here's why and what to do instead, okay? And the next pieces are essentially structural. So you're gonna have to figure them out, but again, they're really, really easy. So tell a story about how you tried the conventional advice, right? You tried the conventional way, you tried what everybody else said to do, or you have taught other people to do it, or you've known other people to do it, okay? Then you want to talk about why most people fall for the conventional advice. So why is the conventional advice, why does it make perfect sense, right? It makes perfect sense as to why you'd want to fast. I mean, it's the best way to cut calories, right? Well, in reality, fasting leads to binge eating, right? Or everybody will tell you that you should run around the mall and try to pick up girls or try to talk to random girls. But what they don't tell you is this is going to kill your confidence because you're going to get shot down, rejected, especially if you're not good at first. These are examples, of course, off the top of my head, but I have some actual written examples down here. Then why the conventional advice failed you or failed whoever the character is in the story. Then you want to belief shift on what actually works better in the form of a lesson learned, right? So this is when I learned, instead of fasting, it's much better to small snack, right? I use the small snack strategy. So I eat a lot of the times throughout the day, except I have all my meals portioned out into these little containers. Whenever I'm hungry, I have a little container. It satisfies me for the day, and then I just go through, right? Maybe that is the learning lesson. And then a CTA based on the problem solution loop of the new belief. So if you want to get my exact snacking strategy or whatever it is, again, examples, then click here and I'll show you how, right? So some pro tips. Avoid we copy, okay? We copy is when you open it up, talking about yourself, talking about, I've been in business for 14 years, and here at this company, we believe that you're able to whatever, right? This is something a lot of beginners have problems with because they've seen like late night infomercials, they've seen commercials, they think that their copy is supposed to look like a commercial. Well, it's really not, right? Great marketing doesn't feel like marketing, and this shouldn't either. You shouldn't talk so much about we, especially in the very beginning. Next, consider relating to the reader's objections. Okay, this one's important. I just felt like my genetics were evil and would never allow me to lose weight, right? Or I thought to myself, snacking throughout the day, wouldn't that lead to me eating more calories because I'm eating all throughout the day, right? So what are the objections that are naturally going to come up when you tell them about the solution and tell them, I thought that exact same objection myself, but then I realized. Okay, this is something that's super important when you not only handle objections, but also relate to the objections and be like, I thought this exact same objection too, right? Like if I was talking to copywriters, I'd be like, dude, I also, before I started copywriting, I was worried about AI too. I thought, well, I don't know, AI might steal my job. But then once I became a copywriter, I realized AI isn't that good and I can use AI to my advantage to create more copy. Okay, next pro tip. In order to write your first draft of copy without worrying about writer's block, think to yourself this. What if I was the only person who was ever going to read this? Write the first draft for yourself because it takes away pressure. Guys, especially with stories, it's hard to just start. Sometimes I write a whole piece of copy and then I'm like, all of this is garbage, but I'm going to keep the beginning, right? As long as it helps you make progress, that's all that matters. People have been literally millionaire authors just because they committed to writing a bad page per day, right? That's just it. Because everybody gets writer's block. Everybody sits there and is like, well, what should I write about? How do I write this? What's the best structure? What do I fill out, right? Part of the reason as to why I'm creating the templates as well is so that you can, again, overcome this writer's block and overcome yourself being too much of a perfectionist or being too critical of yourself. So just pretend that only you're going to read it and nobody else is watching. Don't try to make a perfect piece of copy just right off rip. Next is to leave out useless stuff in stories. Of course, this seems obvious, but you have to understand that your upbringing in the school system has taught you to literally just put fluff in every single thing that you write. School teaches you writing completely backwards. They tell you that you need to reach a certain length of words in order to pass. You guys ever do that? You have to write a 3-page essay. You have to write a 4,000-word essay, which is totally backwards, especially in copywriting. You're rewarded for wasting time. That's what you're doing. And everybody knows this. That's why you're literally writing the sentences like back in 1972, it was 1972, which means it was 28 years before 2000. And you just use random words and you just try to fill it out, right? This is not that. This is the opposite, okay? So take everything you learned at school, dump it, like brain dump it, don't have it in there, and actually put only the useful stuff. Everybody knows that old person who's like, yeah, I was taking the kids to Burger King and, we went to Burger King and then we decided we wanted Wendy's. So we were at Wendy's and I got the Baconator. No. I actually got the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. So then I was eating my cheeseburger and then we decided to leave. And then we went over to Walmart. It's like, what is the point, right? Tell me what the point is. What are you trying to say? Get to it. Just get to it as soon as possible. Next is to never release tension or reveal something before it's necessary because this kills intrigue. For example, this is a lesson learned email. What a lot of beginner copywriters mess up on is they give the lesson learned at the very beginning of the email, right? And that's not how you want to do it because this is usually maybe how you would talk. But the problem is that, again, you're killing the intrigue. So if the lesson is, let's go back to the snacking example, and you started the email with, here's why snacking is better than fasting. They already think they know what the email is about. But if you start the email with fasting is the worst way to lose weight, here's why, See, I used to think this, and this was the journey of what I went through. These are the things that I tried, and then I came across something that worked. The thing that worked wasn't keto, wasn't the summer day beach body thing, and it wasn't becoming a vegan. In fact, it was something way more simpler that kept me full throughout the day, but I was still able to lose weight, right? So you're not revealing it, you're teasing it, you're giving the intrigue, and then at the very end, you give the learning lesson. Super important. A lot of beginner copywriters struggle with this. This is how you create that tension, okay? And then you tease it, and you give some not statements maybe to create more intrigue, and then you finally give the learning lesson. Next, finally, last but certainly not least, focus on what am I trying to say, and then use your story to give the lesson. Okay, that's the overall right there. What am I trying to say? Because a lot of times when people say like they fill out the what am I trying to say, they still don't even really get it right? They don't really know what they're trying to say. So really, like if you were to just say the thing in one sentence, two sentences, why is this valuable to the reader? Why should they care? And what are they going to do afterwards? What's the big belief shift? Okay. So let's hop right into the actual examples. Subject line: posting how-to kills sales. Do this instead, right? So how-to videos on Instagram for a little bit of context. Hey, name: if you're posting educational how-tos, then you're probably losing thousands of dollars as we speak. Here's why and what to post instead. See, a few years ago, followers were jumping on drawn-out webinars. Get a 20-minute bio bragging about your credibility, 30 seconds of value, and then listen to a 40-minute sales pitch that feels like watching paint dry. So I don't know if you guys have ever been through this, right? But this is a very common business thing. They run traffic to a webinar. And again, this might be more businessy than some of you guys know. But again, this is why research is super important. I've worked in business to business before, and this is very relatable to them, right? So essentially what they would do is they would drive traffic to this 1 hour webinar. And on the 1 hour webinar, they'd give a 20-minute bio bragging about their credibility. Oh, I've made this much money. I've done this and blah, blah, blah. 30 seconds of value, right? 30 seconds of things that could actually help them. And then a 40-minute sales pitch that feels like watching paint dry, just completely boring. Everybody wants to get away. This is what a lot of people used to do. Needless to say, leads were fed up, right? The people who were actually watching this, the possible buyers, were fed up. So what did the business do instead? They became people pleasers, giving away as much no fluff free content as possible. It was like a competition to have the juiciest masterclass, the longest ebook, or a 5-day challenge that was worth $100K paid course. Just a really funny side note, dude. I watched this dude on Instagram, and he went up to people and he was like, do you want whatever's in this box or $20, right? And what was in the box was $20,000. So then somebody picked the box and he was like, you win $20,000, my $20,000 paid course, but you get it for free. And I was like, wow, that is cringe, dude. That is super cringe, right? People being like, this course is worth $100,000. How do you figure that? How do you figure a set of videos is worth $100,000? I digress, but you get the point. And yes, I'll admit, free guides used to make sales. After all, it was fresh and unique. But now that every business gives away free stuff, then gives a sales pitch afterwards, free content gives you guilt by association, right? So this, again, is the big lesson. Here's the big lesson. Here's how I came to that conclusion. Now, this isn't a super me story, but it's just an overall story of what most people, it's a relatability thing, right? What most people go through, what most people do, and why it's not the best. Again, guilt by association. Leads think you're just another guru with a course that won't get results. So what should you post instead of educational content? Don't give education, give breakthroughs. Boom. So this is the main lesson as to why the old way didn't work. And this is, right, don't give education, give breakthroughs. This is the new lesson. This is what I teach, and this is why it actually helps you go viral, get views, but not only just views, get views of people who are actually interested in your brand, okay? Think perspective shifts. You can ask yourself, what is my audience currently doing wrong? And what's an interesting solution I can make a post about? Another thing with just value in general is that a lot of people are confused on what value even is. What does it mean to give value? Did you just tell people something? Do you help them think about something? Do you give them some general advice? Well, here's what I like to say when people ask me what even is value. So Alex Hormozi has the more complicated explanation of value, which is like dream state, plus perceived likelihood of achieving the outcome divided by time delay and effort required equals value. That's like a whole value equation, right? That's obviously more in the weeds. The most simple definition of value is something that is useful. What is something that someone can use within 24 hours, right? That is a good gauge of what value is. So here, it's like, think this and post content about this. That's something that somebody can do in 24 hours, right? So that's a good piece of value right there. This way, you can stand out from those mediocre course-pushing scamming gurus and stand out on IG like you deserve. So remember to post perspective breakthroughs and not so many how-tos. Until next time, Shannon. P.S. For more breakthroughs like this, click here to check out my recent Instagram post. See what I did there, name? Wink face. Okay. So again, at the very end, essentially what he did there was, again, he just did a callback loop, right? He did something kind of funny, clever, and witty. Now, again, take time to entertain with your emails just a little bit, right? Obviously, you have to be on brand voice. Sometimes people's brand voice doesn't really entertain that much, but you want to have some entertainment value in your emails because, well, two main reasons. Number one is your email isn't just competing with all the other emails in somebody's inbox. Your email is competing with YouTube and YouTube Shorts and TikTok and Instagram Reels, right? So you have to have some sort of entertainment in there that when people read, they're like, hey, I got value and it was a good time, right? You don't want to be that, high school teacher that's just completely dry and talks like this in a monotone and puts you to sleep. No, you want to be impactful, okay? Also, value can sometimes get old. I mean, if you're just giving value after value after value and no entertainment, it's just going to get old after a while, right? Sometimes the best value you can give is just entertainment, right? So you give somebody something they can use and also just make them feel good about reading it, as if their time reading it was actually worth it. And this is how you get people to, re-engage with your email list and really just get to that point where they open and read every single one of your emails because they're just awesome, right? It's like a experience. Think of it like Apple, right? You go into the Apple store when you don't even need anything from Apple. You just want to look at all the shiny, cool products, right? It's an experience in and of itself. And just by creating that, you're going to get more sales. You're going to get more opportunities to make your clients more money. So debrief. This is essentially a value email with a value CTA. Gives mindset shift to set up sales down the line. Okay, that's the main goal here. So maybe down the line, we give them something like, here's breakthrough posts that you can use to grow your brand and make more money. So then we got example number 2, which is essentially about this YouTube automations guy who teaches you how to build a YouTube automation business, essentially. So the angle is, instead of always posting trending content that gets views in the short term but falls off in the long term, create evergreen YouTube automation content so that you can post once and never have to worry about your views falling. So that's the overall gist of the email. That's what I'm trying to say. And now we're going to get into it. So again, following our format, subject line, trending content kills views. Do this instead. Hey name, if you're uploading trending content, then you're missing out on thousands of passive views and AdSense dollars as we speak. Here's why and what to upload instead. Common advice I hear is just search for trending content, make videos related to the trend, and watch the views roll in. While this sounds like great advice, I learned the hard way that focusing on trendy content is terrible for creating a YouTube cash cow. So there I was in 2022, starting up my first YouTube automation channel. And of course, the infamous Will Smith slap was all the rage. So I did what every YouTube automation expert said and uploaded video after video of poor Chris getting rocked. No pun intended. What happened? The views on my channel surged almost overnight. Awesome, right? Until the trend died, my views nosedived, and so did that sweet YouTube monetization moolah. This was bad, because being the genius I was, I went and blew the AdSense cash I generated, thinking the next month would be just as good. And that's when I learned trending content dies just as fast as it rises. Okay, so there, main lesson. What's the story? And here's the learning lesson, right? This is the whole point of the email. It's here today and gone tomorrow. So if you want a real passive YouTube channel, it comes down to uploading what I call evergreen content. Evergreen content means that you show up in search terms on YouTube. Now, instead of one quick hit video, your videos get thousands of views per day, even years after uploading them. When you're able to use trending content to get an initial spike in views, then capitalize with evergreen content on top of that, your YouTube channel truly becomes a golden goose. Using this evergreen strategy, I've had videos get tens of thousands of views every month, bringing in 3 to 4K per month in passive YouTube income, just from one searchable vid. If you want to learn how to build a YouTube channel that pays you every month, click here to join the YouTube Automation private community. I'll see you inside, Jordan. So I just went through that email. I didn't really break it down too much, but essentially it's the same as the first email that I created because, again, it follows the exact same format and structure, except this one was a little bit more my story, right? So this is how you create your own story and then build a lesson on it. These are called learning lesson emails, and they are extremely effective. So guys, now we have to go through an exercise because even if you just sat here and watched the whole thing, again, it doesn't matter unless you actually do the action. So number one, you're gonna wanna pick a real prospect. I have some examples here if you would like to check them out. Again, that will all be in the free copy starter kit right in here in the starter swipe file. Then you wanna study them and come up with an angle or unconventional advice that they use in their content. Then you wanna fill out the template and write copy. Right? Really simple. Then you want to submit the copy for review in the 4D school or Discord communities that are linked down below in the description. Then you want to comment on this video. If you have any questions or even if you just got value, let me know. It also is a free way to help out the channel. Next is you want to prepare yourself for the new free 8-hour copywriting mega course dropping on August 1st. Mark your calendars. Make sure you're there because it's going to be absolutely groundbreaking. We're going to be making history, okay? Next is to feel free to watch one of the videos that are on screen now because those will also help you on your copywriting journey, get clients, get inspired, and everything else in between. And remember, focus on actions and not distractions. That's it for today, of course. See you guys on the next one. Peace.